Hi, I am calling this meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. Welcome, everyone. I am Terry Barra. I am currently acting as chair in the absence of Monica and Bill Waite. So I'll be running the meeting tonight a little bit off the norm. Okay, so Helen, can you run the flag salute? All right, everybody stand. Okay. I am going to read the mission statement. The Middletown Area Town Hall was formed to operate as a true town hall, with everyone participating in voting. However, county officials required us to elect a board to conform with other advisory committees. Our bylaws specify that the assembly makes the decisions based on the vote of everyone present. The board encourages all members to give their opinions and vote on every matter before the assembly. All right. Does anyone have a moment of silence that they would like us to? No? All right. Moving past. Okay. Approval of the agenda. If you have not grabbed. So moved. I mean, would you like a?
Well, I think some people might think that.
Would we like a moment of silence for the veterans for Morris? Yeah, let's do it. All right. For a moment of silence for the veterans? Sure.
For our veterans.
Yeah.
The Veterans Day.
That was a good thought. All right. So approval of agenda. Fletcher, I believe you had motioned to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
All right. Do we have a second?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? All right. All right, so moving on. Public input. Anyone can speak for 3 minutes on a topic that is not on the agenda. Linda.
Is this on? Hello? It's on.
It is.
Hi, I'm Linda Deal Darms, and I have two announcements. One is we have wreaths across America. It's December 3rd. It's the Middletown Cemetery at 9 o'clock in the morning. And what's really cool about this program is it happens the same time across the country. So it happens in New York at noon. Ours is 9. So all the way through at cemeteries throughout the country. It's $17 if you'd like to sponsor a wreath. And you can get a hold of the Middletown FFA because they're the ones that run the program. Luncheon Club is this Wednesday. It's at noon. It's at the Senior Center. It's $5 for lunch. The speakers are going to be the Adult Protective Services of Lake County. So if you are interested, you do need a reservation. The number is 707-987-3113.
I would like to add a small correction. I believe it's December 13th for Wreaths Across America.
Didn't I say 13th?
I believe you said December 3rd.
Oh, 13th. Sorry, guys.
Thank you.
The 13th, my bad. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other public input? Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Margot Kambara. Lake County General Plan Advisory Committee member speaking for myself. Your general plan and local area plan are being updated. The general plan is the constitution setting rules of the road for development in unincorporated Lake County. Meanwhile, important decisions are being made concerning land use and water. Land use issues affect livability, health, safety, and can have life and death consequences, as Valley Fire survivors know too well. The issue of road safety leading to discretionary use permit sites comes up again and again before the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors. We're talking about roads that are not fire safe compliant. Roads used by residents who have only one way in and out to their homes, roads that are often not wide enough for two-way traffic. This precarious situation is made worse when a discretionary permit is approved, increasing traffic with heavy commercial vehicles. Community Development Department, CDD, will be presenting its suggestion to the Lake County Agriculture Advisory Committee on Monday at 1:30. CDD suggests that exempting cannabis projects from fire-safe road safety requirements by calling roads to cannabis projects agricultural roads. I'm sorry.
That meeting's been canceled, the 17th.
Then I will skip. Do you know whether it's going to be rescheduled?
As of right now, they're going to first go to the fire district on the 19th and talk to them
19th.
first. And then it'll be coming back, they just don't have a date scheduled yet.
Okay.
Just found out today.
Well, thank you. But Matt, I do want to let you know what the issue is. So I thought it was more urgent to let you know because the meeting was originally scheduled for Monday. So now it's not as urgent, but it will still go before the Ag Advisory Committee. But so here's the issue: road safety, fire safety, making sure that residents have a way to get in and out of their home area in the event of an emergency. Not only emergency, but emergency medical access at any time if that road is blocked by heavy commercial traffic. So a road is not an ag road just because you call it an ag road. The fire code says that an ag road is an ag road by use. It is used solely for ag. As soon as you have commercial use on that road, as soon as you have people using it to get to their homes, it's no longer an ag road. So that exemption does not apply. So on December 11th, CDD will be presenting its amendments to the current cannabis ordinance. Water and odor issues will not be addressed. These are huge concerns to most residents in Lake County, and those are bones of contention in many appeals. Public input has not been addressed yet. I am for smart agriculture and development. I am not anti-cannabis. At today's Planning Commission hearing, I spoke in favor of my neighbor's cannabis cultivation major use permit application. My thanks to District 1 Planning Commissioner Rosenthal for bringing up fire-safe road issues and water availability issues raised by discretionary use permits. These are thorny issues. Thanks also to District 1 Supervisor Owen for trying to fix problems with the current cannabis ordinance from spreading to new permitted projects. If you have concerns about the county's cannabis program, please make a public comment. Let the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors know. Thank you.
Each morning, I go to a restaurant here in town and have coffee and usually have breakfast. And while I'm involved in that, a lot of people come up and say, "Hi, Fletch, how you doing?" Because I've been here a long time, and they tell me things. They ask me things. And I'll tell you some of the things they've been asking me. Said, why can't we get a bocce ball court or several courts so we can have some adult recreation in the evening? How about pickleball courts? How about setting aside acreage for the arts? How about a dog park? How about a loping track for our young people that ride horses? Go out and they can practice just loping, exercising their horses. There are many things that we need. If you go any time during the summer down to the high school, you'll see kids out there at 7:30 in the morning playing soccer and baseball. And the reason they're down there so early is because there's so many of them, and that's basically the only place that's big enough to have soccer and baseball at the same time. So, and there's big leagues, and so there's more teams during the day coming and going. Now, that may sound like a big problem. Well, what are you going to do about it? Well, we've been blessed. And we've been blessed by a gift from someone years ago on a piece of land that is right now, and has been in the past, had a little trail around it, and that's it. Nothing else happens. I want to discuss with you, and you can ask me questions if you want. I don't know all the answers, but I do know that we are right at the edge of having some very large companies come into town that love to sponsor things like that. I had a piece of property sold for $2 million out on 175. It fell through because they didn't have internet out there. They were going to put a communication center. Well, you can't communicate without internet, so I guess. So anyway, there's going to be a lot of big companies that are willing to spend some money to help do a project like that. We can have set aside acreage for our arts, which we do all the time out there anyway, so we could just set aside as much room as they need, and the rest of it can be developed as needed and as funds become available. And that is that park out there, or they call it Trailside Park. There are several problems with the park right now. 2 years ago, they had a tree planting, and I went out there and I was going to plant trees. Well, come to find out they were all pine trees. Well, I'm not planting pine trees in the floor of the valley because they don't belong in the floor of the valley. They belong in the mountains. And pine trees on the floor of the valley are nothing but matchsticks waiting to be lit. If you were here during the valley fire, and I watched the houses burn, and I watched the fire progress, and the fire would come up, and you'd see a pine tree, and the fire would be going toward it, and all of a sudden, the pine tree would explode, and millions of pine needles on fire would carried with the wind, and that's in many ways widespread. So I'm opposed to pine trees on the floor of the valley because they're not natural. We have plenty of oaks we can plant. So, but I want to put that in your head, and maybe we can discuss sometime in the future forming some kind of a nonprofit corporation to help raise money to fund one project at a time. I don't care if it's art, I don't care if it's football fields or soccer fields, but we could start, and that would give us a community reason to come together
We're gonna have
and
to
work
wrap it
together.
up, Fletcher.
I beg your pardon?
You're at your 3 minutes if you wanted to wrap up the thought.
Oh, I will, yeah, as soon as I'm done. No, I'm only kidding.
Thank you.
Don't take anything too serious. So let's think about it. I just put that in your head now. It's 100 and some odd acres out there, and it's just a lot of trees and nothing else. And I think there's many good uses for it, whether it be art, whether it be sports, whether it be horses. Put a dog park in. We had a dog park all designed and was ready to put it in, and the county backed out on us. So anyway, that's my comments for today, and I'll be talking about this every meeting from now on until you decide we're not going to do anything, or we want to get on board and help do that project. Thank you.
Thank you.
And there'll be timing.
First question.
Thank you, Helen.
I'll ask you later where it's at and who you want the money from. That's the two parts I wanted to know about that. Anyway, thanks, Helen, for being there that last meeting, I guess, for cannabis. She was fighting to get the cannabis tax set. I'm frustrated, not about cannabis. I'm frustrated by the fact that the sheriff came in here, the county controller came in here, everybody came in here, and they said that we would have money to, number one, make sure that cannabis is controlled, it doesn't make it into the schools, okay? And that the guerrilla growers will be gone, okay? Right now, as far as I know, unless Helen knows something different, that's not gonna happen. The two biggest problems is water that people complain about and smell. This town has had a problem in the past with odor. Calpine used to just, they just send clouds and clouds of rotten egg gas towards us. And the old timers, they know that. We complained and we complained and we complained, and it was mitigated. One of the things that I was pushing for in this last meeting up in Lakeport was if you can't control the odor, don't put it in scenic Lake County, which would mean to me everywhere from Napa County line to the Weatherwack Bridge. We need to bring that to the forefront and say, hey, we've had a problem with smell before. We don't want a problem again. Now, I don't care what my neighbors put in their backyard. I mean, that's fine. But we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of plants. And the other issue is water. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of gallons worth of water. Tara and I both went up and we fought with Tom and Marsh to stop one of the grows because the creek would be wiped out. I mean, our heart and soul for Middletown is the Middletown-Santa Helena Creek and keeping that alive. The other thing is the Middletown plan. I hope that Helen can explain it to me. I put up with 6 months of arguing in here because somebody didn't like Monica, and we were going to get to the Middletown plan, then suddenly it was handed over to everybody except us. I don't know what the hell's going on. That book right there I carry it every time. It's 242 pages of everything you need to know about Middletown. And if somebody rewrites that, we need to go through every page and say, hell no, won't go. Okay? But
Well,
we can't let this
Helen
slide
is
through.
on the agenda later to discuss community and county projects, and I
Okay,
believe that'll
well,
probably touch on Middletown
Yeah,
projects.
that's fine, but that's called the error plan. So I really want to see us tighten things up. I come to math, and I always came to math for the last 10 years, okay, is basically for information about what's going to happen with us and do it. And that information has to be discussed. It can't be done, how do I say? It can't be like a drug deal under the table and we don't know what the hell's going on until it's too late, all right? Or somebody referring you to a website that they can't even find. The county supervisors, I donated my time to the county supervisors. They can't find stuff in their own damn website. How the hell am I supposed to find it? We need the information here, okay? And we can do better, okay? That's all I got.
Thank you.
Hi, Lisa Kaplan. Did somebody do Christmas in Middletown already?
Not yet.
No? You're going to do it? Are you planning on
Sure,
doing
I
it?
mean, unless you want to, you're
Okay,
up there.
so just for all of you who know or don't know, so Christmas in Middletown is 13th of December, which is before we meet again, from 3 to 8 p.m.
Correct.
There'll be activities all over, trees, lights, vendors, fun, music, all kinds of things. At MAC, we're going to have a posadas party. There'll be caroling, traditional American all over the place, and then there'll be Mexican or Latino at the MAC and all around also. We're breaking piñatas, one at 4 for littles, and then at 7 and 7:30 for older kids, and adults can do the last one too. And then We also are having an artist conversation on the 30th of November at the MAC from 5:30 to 7. Doors open at 5, and the exhibit is a celebration of our resilience. It's the Valley Fire 10-year commemorative show, and it's really nice. It's a really strong, beautiful exhibit, and you can hear from the artists at that time. So that's Sunday, the 30th of November from 5:30 to 7 p.m. So I hope to see some of you there.
There will be a meeting before our next meeting is on the 11th December.
Oh, okay, well, I can still announce all this. You can put it on your calendar. Besides that, the 30th is before that. Anyway, but thanks, Fletcher. And then I just wanted to comment. This is a public comment, and I would maybe like to discuss, but it's like, I have a question, Thomas, really quick. I probably have like 30 seconds yet left. Is there any interaction on the Zoom thing? Like, can people who are at home interact? Okay, I have always, on the YouTube, can they interact?
After it's posted, they can comment.
Okay, so because I have always felt that it provides access and that more people will come to the meeting. Like today, I almost didn't come. I only came out of solidarity with everybody else who's here, and it's like, that's not the best reason. It's a good reason, but it's not the best reason. I would rather on a rainy day, and I think a lot of other people would maybe on a rather day, join virtually since we have the technology available. Public comment, thanks.
Hello, I'm Brian Varner, Noble Saloon. You might recognize me. I was here last month at the meeting. Some of you might recognize me from around town. Last month when I attended, there was on the agenda, we were going to talk about the Caltrans update on the Main Street. And there was a vote to table it till this month because it was going to take time to discuss. And on today's agenda, we have future agenda items, which is the Caltrans project. So with transparency of the board, I look forward to the explanation and the action taken to send that down the line again. Thank you.
All right, adding one more thing to public comment really quick while I put on that hat. There's going to be a tree lighting ceremony. We're doing it separate from Christmas in Middletown, and I think that'll probably be a continuation, like a continuing tradition from this point forward, so that more people can attend the tree lighting ceremony, because a lot of people miss it, because they just are busy all over the place on Christmas in Middletown. So tree lighting ceremony will be on November 22nd, and we are going to have kind of like a decorate all of Middletown the entire day that day from noon until 5, and then tree lighting ceremony at 5:30. So, yeah. That is November 22nd. Bring your kids, participate, have fun. Okay, so I know I don't believe I'm supposed to comment on public comment, but just to bring up, I don't type up the agendas, so it might be a better question for Monica, asking why Caltrans was pushed further down. I am sure that she had a reason because she's in communication with them, and maybe they just didn't have their project, together to present yet. But we have other presentations. Oh, there you go. Helen Owen can answer.
There is some news regarding the Caltrans project.
You need a mic.
Oh.
It's your favorite.
I can touch on it if you want.
Yeah.
Helen, that would be lovely.
Okay. You want me just to do it when I was gonna speak?
That would be, yeah, that's perfect. If it's going to be on the agenda.
Have, our guest come up and speak first, and then I'll get back to her.
Perfect.
I can touch on that then if you want.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let our guest speak first.
All right. Well, any other public comment? Nope. All right, we're moving on to guest speaker. Alexandra, I would like to invite you up from Lake Area Planning Council to talk about the zero emissions.
Thank you. Where should I stand? I know I've got a.
I mean that.
Just take her,
Yeah.
he's got a microphone for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it on?
Nope.
No. How about now? It's good? Great. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for the opportunity to be here to present in front of you and hopefully get some of your feedback on this plan that's going on right now. So again, my name is Alex Haig. I'm part of the team supporting Lake Area Planning Council on their zero emission vehicle infrastructure plan. I'm a consultant. I'm not with Lake Area Planning Council. John Spica is the project manager on the Lake ABC side, but he couldn't be here today. And so I'm going to run through my presentation really quick and hopefully save some time for comment and questions. And if we run out of time, I'll share some ways that we can maybe keep talking after or get some feedback over the next month or so. So, am I in the way? Should I sit down? Okay, everyone can see. All right, so the purpose of me being here today is to share the draft charging and fueling sites that, and it's a very preliminary list of sites that the team has been putting together over the last few months and get some feedback on those. We're at probably like the halfway point for the project. So over the next few months, we're gonna be refining that list of sites, and I believe the objective is for the plan to be finalized in January. And again, I'm here, I really want some feedback. I don't live in Lake County, and all of you do, so I know, I really like it here though. I wanna live here. So yeah, I'll just quickly do a quick project background, talk about kind of what we've heard in your community so far, and if time, do a little bit of Q&A. So the objective of this plan is to address the challenge of meeting demand for EV charging in Lake County over the next probably 10 plus years. This is a, you know, even if you're not feeling it right now, I think this is a technology that isn't really going away, and you kind of want to be ready for it. And as more people adopt it, it's important to keep in mind that it's not just people that live in Lake County, because I think a lot of things you hear is, well, I can charge at home, and that's great. And a lot of people that visit don't obviously have that option, especially if they're traveling from, you know, the Bay, or they're traveling from another county. You know, you want them to be able to come here and charge and leave. You don't want them to choose not to come and spend their money here or visit your community just because they can't charge. And this plan is also important for leveraging local, state, and federal funding when it actually comes to constructing the chargers. So we're in kind of a challenging time right now for construction funds. This is a planning grant, so there's money to fund the plan and hopefully set up Lake County to be ready when funding comes available for construction in the future. And again, this is led by Lake APC and is funded by a Caltrans Sustainable Planning grant. And I think I covered everything else on here. So the two quick key questions that I want to ask you, and I'm going to ask at the beginning so you can kind of keep them in mind, is what do you think of the potential EV charging sites that I'm going to show you? And if you don't like them, what do you like better? And also, what do you not like about them? And again, so we're in phase 2 of public engagement. So over this summer, we spent a lot of time asking people for suggestions, and now I'm here to show you where those suggestions led us. And I'll quickly touch on some of the feedback that we've heard so far, and just to keep the presentation short, we got a lot of feedback, hundreds and hundreds of comments across Lake County, but I'm focusing on the ones that we received in the Middletown area for this presentation. If you want to see all of the feedback and comments and suggestions, I'm going to provide some links to see those online. We had 6 specific suggestions, locations suggested by community members in or near Middletown. Some key themes that we heard were placing them where people are already going, so grocery stores and shopping were big ones. Other destinations like libraries and community spaces that were publicly accessible, and a lot of emphasis on schools and public parking lots, so public access was really important for this community. And I pulled out a couple quotes here. There was a lot about tourism, and I heard that a lot too. I was at the Middletown Farmers Market earlier in the summer, and I got a lot of really good feedback. And one that came up a lot was, you know, people are coming to Middletown and they're shopping or they're visiting, and we want them to charge their vehicles at these businesses and then frequent these businesses. And again, yep, close to restaurants and shopping, so that was kind of the dominant theme. And I will now just quickly present the draft site options. Oh, I guess before I'll do that, so there's two parts to how sites are selected. There's the community input, and then there's kind of the data and analysis. And the data and analysis is, you look at kind of objectively how a site might score well, and I'll show you how we kind of score them. And you do some math and you develop a score for a certain parking lot or certain parcel. And then you overlay that with community comment and you review it and you go through all the sites and then you hone in on, okay, what looks good from an analysis standpoint and what are people suggesting? And just quickly, what makes a good site? So public access, safety and security is really important. Power, it's really great to already have power at a site rather than having to do utility upgrades. It makes it a lot more affordable. ADA compliance and again, accessibility. Parking availability, it's great to already, you know, you don't want to build a parking lot, you want to put it where people are already parking. And again, proximity to amenities. So I'm gonna probably leave it on this slide and as I finish up and hopefully open it up to Q&A, but this is kind of what I was talking about. So the color coding, the red and the green, that's the analysis side. And the dots on top of that, those are the draft potential sites that we're looking at for the county. And I pulled out the ones that were identified in the Middletown area. So right now, oh, and it looks like I put the wrong, forgot to put math on there. Sorry, I reused these slides from a prior presentation. But we were looking at Middletown High School, Middletown Library, and near Coyote Valley Plaza. And I believe there was 30 to 35 sites across Lake County that are currently being looked at. But I want to stress again, this is a really draft and preliminary list. And again, so the questions are, what do you think of these sites? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Can you think of some better ones? What are your feelings? So I'll leave it there. And I'm here to answer questions, but also would really appreciate some feedback. And maybe I'll just ask you to cut me off when I'm at time. So
I think those are really good sites, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of struck out through. So Middletown Library, that's not taking notes, but I got it live on the video at the end.
Sorry. No, I think those are great sites that you've kind of come to the conclusion with. The Middletown High School, that's a great site. The Middletown Library here, because this is probably one of our few public parking spots. And then the Coyote Valley Plaza out in near Hidden Valley, those all make great sense.
I don't know how Helen can see that or read that. Maybe it's just my eyes. I would say that my experience with electric cars is there's a lot of snobbery in the parking lots with electric people and non-electric people. One of them, I really don't, it's hard enough to get through a gas station with just gas, okay? But my hope would be that, you know, that you have the casinos involved and it does the casinos, because I know our local casino probably has the most place to spread out and do it. Yeah. But those are not serviced 100%. You only get like 15 minutes and then it shuts down on you. So, yeah. So it's complimentary. Here's 15 minutes. I hope it gets you 5 miles. If it doesn't, stay here and gamble. So a real one would be nice. You know, a fast charger and all that. But, and that's a problem too. Maybe you can explain, how come some of these chargers don't give us, they just sit there and they don't get used, or they're broken, or they don't give you a full fill up or not? Because I was one of the early electric car people, and I was really frustrated with the, how you say, the hustle that I got. So that's all I got.
So Charlie, I have an electric truck, as you know. Yeah, so I'm going to speak from that perspective as one that everywhere I drive, I'm looking, gee, that'd be a good place for a charging station, or that's a stupid place for a charging station. So one of the things I'm concerned about is really how public accessible are high schools? Okay, do you really want people pouring into a high school parking lot that don't have any other business there other than a charged vehicle? I certainly understand if you have a large employment population where they're gonna go there, like the teachers or the administrators. Same thing with the hospital. We have quite a few people, and they'd like to be able to charge while they're working. But for the rest of the type of people, I'm not sure that would make a lot of sense. However, something like a community college might be more appropriate. As someone that has a vehicle, and yes, I don't charge out in Lake County because I can charge at home. It's a lot cheaper. I can make it to and from. But if I'm traveling and I put on my traveler's hat and I'm coming through, I'm going to want to go where I can spend some money. I'm going to, go in. And just to give you an example, I went all the way down to Lone Pine with my truck. I stopped in Dublin to meet some friends, and we were all going to go down there together. I ate breakfast in Dublin. Somewhere on the 5, they had to stop. I had plenty of charge, but they had to stop. But they had 80 stations there. They had fast food. They had a convenience store. Got in, buy a break, take something to eat. I spent money. I went to Bakersfield. It was in a hotel parking lot. I didn't spend money. It's too hard to get to anything. Got to Lone Pine, Bishop of Lone Pine. It was right next to their little downtown, which is about the size of Middletown. I spent money. So if you're looking for an economic driver, I'm a captive audience. I'm going to be there for 20, 30 minutes. I'd rather not just sit in my car and wait. If I'm in a school parking lot, that's probably what I'm going to do. But if I have walking distance with a few minutes to Hardester's or to the saloon or somewhere I can get a bite to eat, I'm going to spend money, right? Snobbery aside, a lot of people that do have electric cars have a lot of disposable income, and they're comfortable spending it. They're going to kill some time. If you look at where they're at, like if you were going to take a tour from, say, Sacramento, you're going to go into Williams. The Granzella's there is surrounded by charging stations. And that's what people do. They go in, they charge, and they spend money at Granzella's. And then you continue on and you go to Ukiah. There's one at the Rayleigh's. There's one, the Rivian near the Pear Tree Shopping Center. It's where people spend money. So I would encourage you to think about, as a community, what would make sense, because it's money on the table. They're going to spend it either here or later on. They might not plan to be here, but they're on their way to another destination. Have them enjoy a lunch. Have them, do something like that, because that's what's going to happen. From my experience, and from my colleagues' experience. The other thing is, and this is more of a question, charging stations are, people will, in many cases, be happy to have charging stations that have the facilities, like a supermarket. It's not publicly owned, but a shopping center, like the Hardester's, we just passed by in Hidden Valley, or the Hardester's that's just over here. If there's enough space, they'd be more than happy and people bid and compete. So is this funding plan, is it just for public space, or is it, can it something where the county can incent business owners to put in charging stations? And then the other thing is that it's all automated, so my app tells me where there are and how many are available. There needs to be a sufficient amount. So if you just have 2 stations, it's probably not good, but if you have 8 or 9, there's the high probability that something's gonna be available and I'm not gonna have to wait. So think about those things. Anyways, thank you.
I have a statement real quick. There's a space right across from the high school. I believe it's owned by the state. It's Caltrans that owns it. A lot of people use it for parking. It's a little, I don't know, it's out in front of the flower shop. So it's just a little tiny, I don't know, you can probably fit 8 cars in there if you parallel, or you diagonal park them. It is on the corner of 29 and Wardlaw Street. It's where a lot of people park to go get Thai food. People put their signs out there for their businesses. Some people that work at the school park there. It's where there was a big tree that was sitting there years ago, and
Yeah,
I
it
think
used to be the Christmas tree.
yeah, it died, and we had to get rid of it. But I think that's owned by the state. And if it is,
Maybe turn it over to the county.
okay, that would be an easy snatch and grab.
Do you want to go
Yeah,
ahead?
my input is that right here is the perfect spot because of the beautiful park we have. In the summer, or we're walking our dogs through town. We meet various people sitting down on the grass. Maybe they have kids, maybe they have a dog. They're going through and they're resting, and they see the park and they want to get out. People that have dogs are going to want to get out and let their dogs run around a little bit. Kids, they run around. This, what we call town, is awfully small. You can certainly, from here, access all the way down to the high school. You've got, the restaurants are, unless you're very handicapped, they are right here. And I think this is, we have the electricity, we have the parking lots, it's public, and I know if it was me, I would not feel at all comfortable going to a high school's parking lot. That would be the last place I would, because what would I do? I would sit in my car and feel like I'm trying to not look like a creep. So that's my opinion.
Sorry, did you?
James Shabara. I commute down towards Santa Rosa, and downtown Cotati has a very good layout for theirs. They utilized a non-used parking lot that's right next to the fire station. It's right there in Central. That would be perfect for here in Middletown, because it's right centralized. We can get people to the back plaza that kind of gets neglected going towards Cobb, and then the people on the main street. And it also prevent, I think, people from vandalizing and trying to steal copper and stuff like that from it if it's next to the fire station. We utilize their parking lot.
Yeah, all right, good. I have 2 places.
Thank you. First off, I just want to start off by saying I love the idea of doing electric vehicle charging in Middletown. Anything that helps the people, helps the businesses in Middletown, I think is welcomed. I think we all have the same goal. You look at the economy, and one way to boost the local economy is you get people downtown. And to get people downtown, we're going to need more shops. Right now, we don't have very many. So it's not very appealing just to walk around Middletown at this moment. The one thing that we lack is parking. So any parking is welcomed. One of the things that to me is kind of an elephant in the room, from my understanding, is behind the bus stop here, there was a plot of land that has been donated to Middletown, and there's plans for a park. Well, if you walk out this door, we have a beautiful park. If you go down, we have a central park. If you go right outside of town, you have plenty of hiking trails. We have beautiful places. We have a lack of parking. We don't have a lack of parks. So I think that I would suggest that we propose or consider that being a location for EV parking, because there's plenty for 9 spaces and extras for other passerbys, and that would get people walking downtown. and you would see people investing in downtown again. I would personally invest in a small shop if we had more foot traffic. So that's kind of my point, and I yield my time. Thank you.
The library is this way, and unless we're talking about the parking places along the street, the library really doesn't have any parking. If we're talking about the parking lot this way, that fills up right before lunch and empties out when lunch is over, because that's the senior parking for the lunch program. So unless you limit the amount of places there that you can park people that are going to be there for a while to charge up their vehicles, you're going to limit the amount of places that the seniors can park to go to lunch.
So Barbara, I'm sorry, I'm going to comment, but you're saying to have one here?
The parking
Like outside the senior center?
That fills up at lunchtime, and once lunch is over,
Well,
it's empty.
right, and we have right by the park here too, like alongside. I think it's really important for the businesses that it be not at the high school and that it be in town, in a place where people can park. And I think that by putting it in the Coyote Valley Plaza, which I think is the one in the back, right? It's the one in the back? It's not the
I think
front
it's the one in the
right?
back that's closer to Coyote Valley
The plaza is the
Elementary
one in
School.
back, right?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, it's still close enough that you can walk to
Yeah.
Hardesters, if you're parking.
And
I
there's
mean,
plenty of shopping
But
right
yeah,
there.
putting it where there's shopping, it's like, we need that, you know?
Have you ever parked there, though? Where? Back there by the.
No, but if I needed to charge,
I know, but
Yeah.
that parking lot gets full in the business day too.
I think that the day we need electric chargers for people coming up to shop in Middletown will be a magnificent day, since you can't even buy a pair of shoes here. So we may be talking a little ahead of our time, but that's okay. But there are a lot of very important things besides electric chargers right now. If you had 10 electric chargers anywhere, that would service everybody here. Nobody is going to take off on an electric car driving to Reading, planning to stop in Middletown to charge. There's nothing to do in Middletown when you're charging your car. I'm sorry, there's not.
There is.
Yeah, you can go to the art center. So anyway, I think we're a little premature, but I think the time will come when we need those. And we should outline where we want them, I think.
Just really quick input. I do think that there are things to do. I mean, we have restaurants, we have tasting rooms, we have local shops, a lot of cute boutique shops, salons, lots of stuff. But we do have the Sutter park that we're currently kind of deciding what we want it to be. So Brian, yes, thank you. That is input that I actually also was thinking maybe we need a couple there, because I think we probably will have a couple parking spaces there. We're currently, if anybody didn't see the QR code, I printed out like a little flyer that has a QR code you can scan, and you can actually give your input for that park. I also emailed it out to everyone, so with a link, but if anybody wants to put that input in there or any other input for that park. But another space that could be potentially in the next decade or so, that lot that's next to Beulah's, that's that huge empty lot. The brands are partnering with some other company that they're going to build. I believe it's going to be a shopping complex, and they are going to have parking there. That is another very centrally located location to potentially have a charging station. It's yeah, so they have not broken ground. They're currently in the process of getting their plans approved. And it's right next to Beulah's. It's a huge empty lot.
It's directly across the street from the Stonehouse restaurant.
Okay.
Right.
Who do I
And
keep-
they're Whitney and Tyson Brand, I can share their contact
Okay.
information with you.
I'll email you after. Thank you.
Perfect.
Just a couple things. First of all, the California objective for vehicles is to be zero emission by 2035 anyway, so we're going to have to charge vehicles in 10 years, and if I understand you said it's a 10-year plan. So that's one thing. And again, Fletcher's partially right. People aren't necessarily coming to charge their car in Middletown per se and then go to shop. The thing is that they look and they say, oh, I need to charge. And so they plug into their app or into their phones to take them to the nearest charging station. Oh, there's one in Middletown. Okay, I pull over, I charge. Now what do I do? Well, there's a shop, or there's a thrift store, or I'm hungry, or hey, there looks like there's a barbecue place. I'll check it out. Okay, they would have gone right by, not done any of that. Okay, so it's not like, oh, I'm waking up in the morning and I live in Dublin. Gee, let's go to Middletown to have breakfast. Maybe we'll come to that day, but that's not the point. They're on their way to some other destination. They have to stop somewhere where they can charge. Take advantage of that opportunity. Thank you.
So one thing that I was just thinking of was that wherever, I like this, I'm with it too. I think that the charging thing's important. I also think of as the app is very important. I think sometimes when you're just driving though, it's a lot of things that I've seen just driving down the road is visually seeing it like, hey, there's a charging station. So I would just maybe suggest, I like the idea of the library. I don't know if the side parking areas that kind of go around the park, but that way it's visible from the street versus back here in the corner area. So I think seeing that.
Also, behind Stonehouse, I own the restaurant, but behind Stonehouse, there is a parking lot back there that Hardisters owns, and all their employees park or my customers park. But I mean, that's plenty of room back there to put something as well. I'm sure Harvesters would probably love to work with you guys on that. That'd be good. It's called Hardisters. Yeah, they have a parking lot back there. It's really, everybody in town uses it, so.
Just real quick, I think at the end of the day, I know that Middletown's not appealing and people don't see this as a destination, and there's reasons for that because we don't have the attractions that everybody's looking for. But in this situation, if you build it, they will come. And what I mean by that is people will invest. That you'll see if somebody's sitting there charging, people will bring more businesses. You'll see more pop-ups. You'll see more restaurants. You'll see more things to do. And so I don't think it's ahead of our time. I think at the end of the day, it's helping us get to our goals. So it's a step forward. So I think it should really be considered.
Hello, my name's Ken, and thank you so much for bringing this up, and I hope it's successful and it grows big time. I'm an EV driver, and what I think is people come over the hill, and this is the first place they stop or can stop. And if they have an EV car, they're ready to charge again. And as a location, I think maybe perhaps Main Street, let's see, it's the State Farm Insurance Company is on the corner and the tasting room's on the other corner. Well, behind the insurance company is an empty lot that is big enough for 8 cars or whatever. And it's right in the center of town to 175, or if you continue on, this is the place to stop after coming over the mountain. Locals, they've charged at home like I do.
I just want to echo again, like in the middle of town, I love Ken's suggestion of that. And I, as also, like my partner had a EV car, and it's like you look on the thing and you plan, like I'm going to drive this far and then I'll be able to charge again, so then people will stop. And I think it needs to be visible, like not hidden. I think that point is a really good point.
All right, I think we're only going to be able to take a couple more. We have to move on.
Thank you, Alex, for your presentation. Very exciting project. My suggestion is to increase the appeal of the EV charging stations. and the effectiveness of them. When it comes to design, have maximum flexibility to accommodate different kinds of vehicles, so the hose or the cable is long enough, it can accommodate left or right-hand sided ports. Also, the larger vehicles, and not so tight of a space, because the larger SUVs, the trucks, sometimes because of the way the station is configured, it could take up 2 spaces. And again, if you can have more than 2 or 3 spaces, stations per spot, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right, yeah, I think so. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you, everyone. You make my job really easy. What's the best way for me to get information to you
You are welcome to email the math Gmail. You can also email Monica, or do you have the math Gmail?
Yes, I do.
Okay, perfect. If you email me there, I will be able to reply.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone.
All right. Helen, I would love to invite you up. Supervisor Helen Owen is going to discuss community and county projects. Thank you again, Alex.
May I make a suggestion? Sure. If you set up here where there's a mic, you could put your stuff down and make it easy for us to hear you and see you.
That will make it easier. You're
Come over here, I love blondes.
Oh, okay. Where do you guys want me?
Sit right
There,
here.
right there. All right.
Thank you, though.
No, I'm gonna pinch you. I'm gonna pinch old Charlie, so if you hear me screaming. Okay. Well, thank you for having me tonight. Can you hear me okay? Okay, so what I like to do is I'm just going to touch on a few things that I haven't touched on the last couple of times I've spoke here. Try to keep it fresh, and then I'm going to leave time for people to ask questions. And I know it's already getting to like 8 o'clock, I think, or something. So I'll try to be brief on it. I'm just going to touch on a few things that I think that the public should be aware of that I haven't mentioned in the past. Okay, the first thing, before I forget, Linda had wanted me to clarify the Wreaths Across America is for our veterans. So that is the 13th of December, and we have a ceremony at the cemeteries throughout, and she had already explained all of that, I believe, but she just wanted me, because she had left out the word for veterans, and you can buy the, purchase the wreaths to help go on the graves of our servicemen and women, and they're $17 each, I believe she said. So, and who'd you say? FFA is putting that on, and they do an amazing job.
Is that FFA Middletown, or?
Yes, yeah. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'd like to say Yahoo that our 43-day shutdown ended last night. So we're really happy about that. The longest in history, and it's finally came to an end. I wanted to touch on Prop 50. Apparently, with the Prop 50, there has been a lawsuit that's been filed, and many of you may or may not know that. So whether it's going to actually take effect or not, it's ambiguous at this time, depending on the outcome of the lawsuit. If it does go through, I've tried to look up the lines, the new lines for who will be in whose district, and there's several different versions of it. But I had met with Luca Moretti, who is Congressman Thompson's aide, last week, and he did tell me that our district will, Thompson's district and Doug LaMoffa's district, Doug LaMoffa's will start at Hartman Road. So that'll be the line for the new congressional lines, if it takes effect. So that's still up in the air a bit, but I just wanted to throw that out there so you knew. I have been in touch with both Congressman Thompson's office as well as Doug Lamoffa's and spoken with both of them. So I know Doug would like to come down and start making some acquaintances and getting to meet people down in this area and preparing for this being his district. Let me see. Lake Pillsbury. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Lake Pillsbury project. It's huge. It was a dam that was put in. They started building it in 1920. It was completed, I believe, in 1922. And PG&E, it was, I believe, built by the Army Corps of Engineers. PG&E has been running it and getting the power out of it for many, many years. It's been running for, like I said, over 100 years, and they're wanting to take it down. So right now, there's a comment area, and this is for FERC. It just opened up for the FERC comments, and we, of course, do not want it to close down and for them to tear it down. The plan that they have set forth, to my knowledge, is not, it's really going to affect Lake County. It's going to affect us financially. It's going to affect our water, the amount of water we have for fires and for a number of different things. Potter Valley, that's where they get most of their water. They're not in Lake County. The lake is in Lake County, and we would really like to have some support. If you go to my supervisor page on Facebook, there will be a link where you can contact FERC and put in comments there for that. So, yeah, it is in Lake County. Let me see, what else was I going to talk about? There's a new wind project going in. I can't say going in. There's a new wind project being proposed for Morgan Valley area. It'd be like 19 windmills. It's just starting to come forward. I met with them in January, right after I got sworn in, and went and looked at the project. It would be about 19 windmills and span over about 3,500 acres. It would produce about 70 megawatts of electricity. So there's comment period and et cetera on that. That is just now starting to come forward, so there's a while on it, but if you guys are interested in that or more information, you can get in touch with me, or you can go onto the website. There's several ranchers back in private land. Yes, yes, sir.
Where is it?
Morgan Valley, yes. So, when I'd met with Luca Moretti, one of the reasons for our meet last week was to look at, we went on a tour of the Coast Guard property south of, or north of Middletown, out Grange Road. That's about 1,200 acres. We took tours with, or gave tours to the our battalion chief here, Josh Lau, and took him out along with Luca Moretti. And one of the things I would like to see done with it, and I'm going to be meeting with the fire chiefs next week, is to have that redesignated for a training area for our first responders. Our sheriff's department is interested in it. Our fire personnel are interested in it, and our veterans are interested in it. And still yet, our natives can still use it for ceremonial reasons.
I understood they were about to get it turned over to them. That's not so.
As of right now, it's not. I can't say they would like it. What I would like to see done with it is for it to be, to benefit all of Lake County, to be honest. They did buy the ranch next door, which is 1,400 acres. But this is an additional 1,200 acres. And I would like to see that it benefits all of us and our fire personnel. We don't have an area right now for teaching the hand crews or the dozer operators So this is something that could work really well for, they can do classes not just here locally, but throughout the state. They would possibly be able to. So I'm bringing it before the fire chiefs, and I have spoke with Mr. Lucas Bingham, our sheriff, as well, and they can use it for search and rescue. So there's just a number of really good attributes to being able to do that, and yet they could still use it for ceremonial issues or events. So it would be closed down if we were using it for something along those lines. I've also spoke with Mr. Lars, who's in charge of all of that, large Ewing, and he's excited about it. We haven't taken him out to look at it yet, but that's why we had Luca Moretti come and visit. So that's just, it's just a thought. We're sending it out there, and I just wanted to bring you a press.
Have you talked to the National Guard in Lakeport? Because they always need a training area also.
No, but
That
it
would
belongs,
qualify.
currently it was the Coast Guards.
Yeah.
So, but, and they had done a lot of military trainings there over the years.
Okay, good.
So I think that that would be a way that it could benefit a wide range of people. So,
National Guard's the same.
perfect, okay. Now, I know that I had a question on the Caltrans, right? Okay, so the last update, I talked to Izzy. I had really fought hard to have diagonal parking put in front of for 2 lots, in front of Nobles, all the way down to, we couldn't do it, of course, where the bus stop is, but it'd start there and it would go on down, for 2 blocks in front of, the Cowpoke or the, Stonehouse, on both sides of the road. Unfortunately, they had told us yes a little prematurely. When they went and measured, they actually did some more measuring, and they figured out that by doing diagonal parking, the back corner, driver's side corner of the vehicles would be sticking too far out in the road, because they're kind of set on doing a center lane for a turn lane. So as of right now, it would be similar to what it is now, but with a 3rd lane. I personally really want to see extra parking, and I've been fighting for that. I felt that if we took out the bike lanes that are rarely used, that the additional parking would really help our parking issues in Middletown. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to make that happen. We're still trying.
Is intruding into the sidewalk an option?
That's not something that we talked about, because I know that a lot of people really wanted to keep the trees.
Well, we can do cutouts.
Oh,
I've seen that through many towns throughout the Bay
that's not
Area.
something, you know what, let's talk after, and I can get with them and throw that
Outstanding.
direction, okay? Because that's not something that this old country girl thought of. Okay, so I hit on several things here, and I wanted to give time for any questions, if there was any questions on anything.
Helen, on the FERC, is that what you displayed, is that on a website somewhere?
Yes, and actually, if you go to my page, you can find exactly what I printed out, my Facebook page.
Okay.
And there's a link to go directly to the FERC on it, so you can just hit it. And it's the Helen Owens for supervisor, or no, it's District 1 supervisor, or whatever it is. And so you can go directly there and make a comment. And there was something else about this. Can't remember what it was.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's Helen Owen, District 1 Supervisor. I follow.
Oh, thank you. Is there any other questions on any of the issues I brought up, or the things that we have coming forward?
The big thing is I park down there every day, and if you parallel parking, there's room for about 9 or 10 cars on the block that houses the Stone House and all those.
Mm-hmm.
If you went to diagonal, you could probably put 15 or 16. Now, someone mentioned that lot right across from the Stone House. Part of the problem, why they haven't developed it,
is
they
parking.
can't provide parking.
I know that. I've been
And-
working with the brands, and
yeah.
that's one of the reasons I've asked for this.
Well, parking is
It's vital.
terrible.
It's vital.
Yeah,
It's
and
absolutely vital.
we either have to mitigate the parking requirements in the planning department or do something, because right now, you just can't build anything on 29 because of parking.
I even went so far as to call him back and ask if we could possibly look at putting diagonal parking on just one side of the street. And he goes, well, which side? And I said, well, it'd be the west side, because then when people are backing out into traffic, we wouldn't have to worry about it. During commute hours, everybody goes to work real early, and they'd be clogging up more coming home in the evening, which is actually that way north. They'd be going north in the evening. So, but they felt that it would, he goes, that's a good idea. But when they went to the design crew, they felt that it was going to offset the street. It's not that they couldn't fit it in, it's that they felt that it would offset the center and that it would cause an issue going through town. Because that was just, can we get half of it?
Yeah.
So-
Let me ask you another question then. That piece of property across from the stone house, why can't the county take possession of that and make that a parking lot?
Well, somebody owns it, and I definitely would not be willing to try to take somebody's property.
No, I'm not saying take.
No, they have
take-
plans, they know what they want to do, and I'm hoping that maybe I had mentioned to them, maybe doing the drive-in parking like they do at Hardester's, kind of nosing in all the way around them to give them a few more spots, but it's a major issue, and I don't have a solution for it.
Well, I can tell you, this piece of property right out here that has the park, that was owned by an individual that had a plan. And we went to him and talked to him, and he decided that for the benefit of the town, he would sell it to the county, and so we could have a park. It's not impossible to buy land. It just takes money. And God knows the county spend enough on buying hotels and things. They know how to spend money. So there's something to think about.
The portion over here, the little park that you guys were talking about for parking, that was actually one of my first thoughts a few months ago. That is a situation where, it's not Kaiser, I can't think of the name. Sutter owns it, and they wanted it to be a park. So we kind of have to go with what they're wanting as well. They're not giving it to us, they're doing like a long-term lease. So, we're, pardon? I like the way you think.
You're invited, come back next month.
Supervisor Owen, with all due respect, I disagree with you about diagonal parking. I think of safety first, absolutely safety first. And when I park in Calistoga and I try to back out and there's a large truck next to me, I cannot see, and it's very difficult. My vehicle has sensors and cameras and all kinds of things, but it's still unsafe. And they travel very slow in Calistoga in comparison to our Highway 29. So I don't like that idea at all. So I'm glad that they've second thought it, and that's my input.
Thank you. Thank you for your input.
So I'm obviously pro diagonal parking. However, in the off chance that it is not, is there a suggestion to possibly put markings on the current curbs right now? Like I know in St. Helena, they have the little L shapes that kind of show you like park in this area, park in this one. Because I think right now too, a lot of parking just kind of spreads out where.
I think that's even down by Hardester's as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that would be an issue.
Isn't there also a plan when they redo the downtown to slow traffic down through town? That's part of the whole plan, correct? Not only adding a middle lane, but also slowing down the traffic that goes through.
Yeah, there's a number of things that they're looking at doing. They're going to be giving the whole thing a facelift and improving it. So, and then the center lane too gives people a scotch more room if somebody is backing out. So, but it looks like that's the direction as of right now, from what I'm hearing, and that could change. But
I have a question. There's all this talk, I realize the Caltrans plan is on 29, but I'm looking at my satellite map, but 175 is wide, and there would be room for diagonal parking on the sides of 175.
that's a great
I mean,
thought.
that's,
Yeah,
but
that's a
I'd say,
great,
but if that's not
that's a
part-
great
but
thought. Thank
it's
you.
Right, as I said, I'm looking here, and
Awesome.
it's wide.
Yeah.
It's just as wide as 29, or wider.
Surveying 175 for a week and a half. There's surveyors all over. Do you know what's going on?
Nope.
Trucks every morning.
We got a question back here.
I'm wondering about that White House that's next to Hardister's, that land.
I believe it's for sale.
Oh,
Well, if you're talking about taking over property, there's one right across the street from Hardister's that nothing's going on with.
I think that's for sale. Isn't
And
that, doesn't Kevin know that?
I mean, that would be if you want a parking spot
Where's
right
my
next
checkbook?
to Hardister's. If you're looking for more parking,
All right, we are running out of time, so we are going to have to start wrapping up. If anybody has a final comment. All right, moving on. Thank you, Helen, so much. Thank you. Moving on to correspondence. I did receive an email communication from Lisa about a potential future agenda item. You were talking about Diego's work. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Just a very short little spiel, and then we can decide if we want to add it to a future agenda item.
So we applied for a grant from something called Parks California, and we received it. And I think I might have spoken about this another time. We're going to be doing 3 murals at parks around the lake, at Alpine Park, at Lakes, which is in Lucerne or Nice, one of those, at Lakeside Park, which is at near Big Valley along Soda Bay, and at the Clear Lake Boat Launch, which is in Clear Lake Oaks, which is Clear Lake Oaks Boat Launch. And those are going to be like, we're going to be working with youth from the schools, and they are a combination of culture and ecology. And Ruth Richards, Darina Simeonova, and myself are kind of like the lead artists, and we'll be working with the kids, and the kids will have lots of input, and there'll be community activation days where community members are invited to come and help us paint like block areas. Okay, so here at Trailside, we have the sculpture walk. So and I've heard over the years, people say, oh, could we get one of Diego's flaming trees out there? And so I conceptualized something with Diego where it's like 3 trees that are kind of talking each other, because he had this big horn sculpture at one point. And this is an aside, Diego's career actually kind of started at Trailside, and he hasn't put work in there because he's selling a lot of work these days. And most of what we do is we can't afford, but for this grant we could afford to get one of Diego's sculptures. So the idea is that he comes here with sketches, with pictures, and shows you guys what we're looking at doing, so you guys can have input. Simple. So I would like to put that on the agenda next month, preferably, so that he can sort of get started with his process.
Okay, anybody you want a motion to put it on the future agenda?
I'm not motioning
No.
for it.
Okay,
I'll motion
all right.
Second.
Thanks.
What's the status of your art gallery?
Well, we're not going to not be alive. Like, we'll find a place, but if we have to. But I think that, like, I'm not really talking to Dee a whole lot about what's going on, but chances are that it'll go off the market in winter if nobody purchases it. But, I mean, it's scary. You know, we don't want to have to move, and we've got that empty lot right next door. But if we have to move, then we'll move. We're not closing. Like, I have an option that I'm sitting on.
Okay,
You
good.
know?
Are you a nonprofit?
Oh, yeah.
And are you doing anything to try to keep it alive? Because the last thing we need is another empty building in Middletown.
Well, I don't think it would be empty. I think
Okay.
that we're paying rent, so the people would have a stay rather than have it empty. I mean, we're not going anywhere until somebody says, sorry, we don't want you here anymore. We're going to turn this into a dog.
Sorry to have
Whatever.
to move forward, but we
That's
are
okay.
off
It's fine.
subject.
I
Yep,
was
thank you.
asked.
Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor to add that to a future agenda item, preferably December. Anybody in favor? Anybody?
Will we have time for something like that and have the elections also?
That's something that we're gonna have to kind of look at the future agenda items and see how much space, and then also roughly how much time he needs. We're still gonna be going through the election process. Voting is in January. So I believe in December, isn't that when everybody kind of stands up and talks about nominations? Yeah. Okay, so also. Yeah, everybody in favor?
Yep.
All right, anybody opposed? All right, we're good. Motion passes. I did get ahead of myself, and we need to approve the minutes from October. So can I get a motion? Thank you. Anybody second?
Second.
All right. And all in favor? Opposed? And passes. Thank you. And okay. So now the name of the park discussion for Library Park, which is not technically the real name. Linda, if we can invite you up.
So I was part of a group that started this whole thing that's happening here, the project that we did with M.A.T.H and helped with the county in doing the park, the library, this meeting room, and the senior center. And one of the things in the discussion that we talked to the county about was that the Middletown community had the opportunity to name the park. And so that's what it's about, and that it's, for me personally, it would be nice if it reflected our community in some way. So that's what it is. It's having the community have a chance to come up with names and then vote and officially name the park based on what the community would like it to be named. And then in that, the park was, the county was going to do a sign that would, like all the other parks that have signs and tell you what the park is. So that's what it's about.
I think that sounds nice. Lisa.
What's your plan to get community input?
Am I going to be doing that?
I was actually
Okay.
just going to.
I can do that. I didn't know I was supposed to do that.
Well,
part.
I was going to suggest, similarly to how we have the other park input QR code and the link that was sent out, potentially we just create a Google link where people can put their input.
I have an idea about that, because I have to deal with getting community input on a regular basis, and I think that our reach is not broad enough. And I think that because the park is frequented by quite a few people in the summer or in the spring during the farmer's market, we should have something happening there, for sure. Like a table with a QR code, or a ballot box or something, because those are the people who are using the park over and over again.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
I agree with Lisa.
No, I know it's not a hurry. It's just something I didn't want to just, I keep hearing it being called different things, and the county has assigned a name to it, and that isn't something that came from our community. And that's what put up the red flag for me, that I wanted to bring it back. They call it Middletown Square Park. Yeah. And that was something that was assigned by somebody up in the county. So that's all. I just wanted to bring it to everybody's awareness. Doesn't have to
Perfect.
be done tomorrow, just so we know that that's something the community.
So is there a way to maybe put that on the agenda for when the farmer's market comes back into town, like for next year, like kind of adding that
Like
to
adding a town hall table?
town hall table for,
Yeah, we just
When-
need the
I think they come back
volunteers.
in, like,
Everybody
June or
stand
something.
up.
Maybe incorporate the youth, possibly look at the high school, because I mean, a little
Absolutely.
bit of pride in the Mustangs is,
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Community's community, and it doesn't matter your age. So, anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you. All right, moving on to nominations. So the nominations are open from October through December. Current nominations that we currently have are Nanette, Bill, and myself. Is there anyone else that would like to be? Lisa, who do you have?
Pat, would you do us the honor?
I thought of a little speech for running as an alternate. You know, in other words, that's the position I want.
What about you, Dan? Would you accept a nomination?
I'm going to sleep on it. I don't have to answer it right now, right?
No, you
Yeah.
got next month too.
I can
Yeah.
sleep on it.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff.
So Pat, you are accepting?
I want to get back to Ken. I want to nominate Ken.
As long as, I am accepting as long as the incumbents all get enough votes to be reelected, yes.
I don't know if you get to do that.
That's my platform.
Okay. Okay, any other nominations? All right, moving on. Future agenda items. So we've got December Caltrans project discussion, Middletown area plan, and then there's the math board election that will be happening in January. So we will be discussing nominations again in December.
Is that thing that she talked about, is that on the agenda now?
It's, I can add it, yeah.
Oh, I thought we voted on putting it on the agenda.
Yeah? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Diego's work. So, yes, as long as, I just said a future agenda, but I want to check and make sure that the things that are not already on the agenda are not going to take up too much time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we have time, yes.
I think Diego's would be fun. Let's wait
I
till
agree.
after the election and do it in January.
Okay,
We got a lot of stressful stuff coming.
so if I can get a motion, we are going to end on time.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, everybody in favor? Awesome.
Or bye.
We are ending at 8:30 p.m.
Get out of here.
Yeah.